reactor based on what you get from the literature, right? Now, having done that, now what you can do to get the capital cost is to utilize these relations or correlations that we obtained from the work provided by NREL. So the references are there. So there was a study that was provided by undertaken by NREL. So they provided these correlations that most engineers used they still use it in 2021, right? It kind of tells you the correlations for the warehouse cost, the site development cost, piping, and all that, right? So I'll provide the link to this, and I don't know if I can provide the link to this as a PDF file, but I'll see if I can provide the link below, so that we can use these correlations, right? So essentially, what you do is that you have those equipments, right, which we have now presented here, right? You utilize installation factors, which you multiply with the purchase cost of each equipment, right? Now the installation factors will vary. I'll have to organize them in an Excel file and show you what I mean. When you multiply the numbers, the purchase cost with the with the installation factors, you now have the installation cost. Now once you have the installation cost, right, all you now need to do is to utilize this relation here to get the warehouse cost and all that, right? So it's pretty straightforward, I believe. So having done this, you need to transfer this to Excel, but we need to make sure that they remain linked. Why we need to make sure that they remain linked is because you may need to change at some point your flow rates. Right now, if you change your flow rates, this cost will automatically change. Right? What I mean is this: you may need to change your feed flow rates of your oils at some point. So you may need to change something here, And if you do that, the cost will change. You do not want to keep manually coming here to check it. You want it to automatically change in Excel, right? So it's always wise to maintain the link. So we need to now transfer everything we have in here to the Excel file. So what I typically do, we need to save what we have. Right, so let's make it visible. We need to make sure everything is saved. So we save this so it stays saved. I'm having myself a very hot cup of coffee. It's pretty cold. Right. Anyway, so yep, so we save it. We'll disable this. Make it not visible. And we can close the file. So you disable. You want to say yes, we want to do that. So save it. Now you come back here. Right, you have all this. Then it's showing here. Once it's saved, it should. So save here. Right, of course, you always have all these set files that show up if there were problems running, which you really do not need. You can still delete them later on. All you need is really the backup file, the Aspen backup file. Anyway, so you come back here now and open just the file, right? Because again, we want to send it to the Excel file. We want to link it, the data with the Excel file. I've double clicked on it. Okay. Now, just as a recap, you go into the Excel file, you click on the economics tab. Now, typically, Aspen should be able to calculate your capital cost and your utility cost. However, in most cases, or in some cases, you will indicate there will always be an indication of a slight error. Yeah, showing that there were some problems in calculating this. some cost of some associated equipment. Now, that means that you need to now have to estimate this cost using existing data from the literature, right? Now, personally, as I said, I will not encourage us to simply come here and copy the capital cost. Neither will I encourage us to simply come here and copy the utility cost and assume this is fine, right? However, based on the interactions I had with the folks at Aspen, right, you can utilize the purchase cost of the equipment directly, because these are based on what vendors provided, the commercial vendors that provide this equipment, right? Now, you can easily just copy and utilize those costs directly. Then you now use engineering correlations that are very relevant and still very recent to get the associated cost, installation cost, from whence you can use the correlations I showed in the PDF file to get the capital cost for your project. Of course, utility cost will depend on your particular situation. For instance, you're looking at the cost of for instance, electricity or steam in India, so you get the cost relevant for that, and you know the amount of steam you use in your process, and you multiply it. Anyway, so we come to where we got the custom table. We see the purchase. Now what we need to do is to send this to Excel, right? Now you notice it's gone because we haven't run the process. If you want to see it, you just reset, right? Everything will reset, and you run it. That should bring back our numbers for the flow. Yeah, so that brings back our numbers here. So yeah. Anyway, so we're sending this to Excel. Right, now you want to export it using links, right? You want to add tables to an existing workbook. Yes, so you need to browse for the workbook, right? The workbook in this case is about this workbook. You click on it. Yes, you want to export the file, right? So you click on export the table to Excel, right? You do not open it. If you recall, please do not open the file. You untap this and you click on OK, right? And you close. That's it. It is that easy, right? Now we'll save this. Now we're for it to give us the permission to save. Close, right? You have all these tabs, which will eventually go. Don't be afraid when you see so many new files formed. They are just files that are formed based on the Aspen that you have successfully run. Now you click on biodiesel tab. Now you should see these are all the costs that were provided for us, right? All the tab. So you need to reactivate the link again. So it comes to options, add-ins, computer add-ins. You go click on all the Aspen tabs, right? Come to your workbook, enable. Right, so it tells you this automatic. You click on yes, right? Select anything. Okay. Right, so you want to activate it to this, right? Okay. It tries to link it up. Trying to be a bit faster. I'm trying to get to uni. It's almost 7 o'clock, so I need to go get you ready for uni. So now it's linked. He said variable table generation completely linked, right? Tells you the fancy. Once you get that, that's the best information you can get, right? And once you click on it, you should see a tab open here that tells you that it's properly linked, right? So what I do is that I open another tab and I call it equipment, or call it economics, or equipment. Okay, we can call it equipment. Let's say economics. Or equipment purchase cost. Let's call it like that. Equipment purchase cost, right? I'll write that in full in your own study. Then we can call this economics. Right? So the first thing we need to do is to properly detail what we need. So we have equipment name. We need the purchase cost in USD. Purchase cost, right? Then we need your installation cost, also in USD, right? So we should recall the equipment we needed based on the Aspen. Right, we needed the reactor for the esterification process, the transesterification process. We needed a cooler. We needed a flash vaporizer. We also needed another cooler. We needed 2 distillation columns. Right, so distill 1 and distill 2. Right. Now the purchase cost of this is unknown for now, right? But we do know that the cooler cost was what? This value. And we know the flash wrap was this value. The cooler 2 was this value. Distillation column 1 was this value. Distillation column 2, this value, right? Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Excuse me. I'm going to stop here for now. Now, essentially, what we are going to do in the next class is to show us how we got the purchase cost for the reactor based on the flow that was specified here, right? Then we also installation cost and all the other costs that we need to calculate the capital cost estimate for the process, right? Again, all we have done in this class is to show you to get your cost. You click on the economic icon on Aspen. Now once you do that, ideally you should be able to get an estimation for your purchased cost, your installation cost and all that. However, I do not encourage us utilizing the capital cost, which is derived from the solution cost as provided by Aspen, right? I will encourage us, however, to utilize the purchase cost of general equipment such as your distillation columns, your reactors, your coolers, right? Pumps, simple equipment like such as those, right? So once you get the purchase cost, you require the correlations that I will provide using the PDF file. I'll see if I can link that below. Utilize those correlations to get the proper cost of warehouse costs, land cost, all the necessary costs, indirect and direct costs that more or less contribute to the capital cost of the plant, right? Then we can move forward.